Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another day here. Good morning, everyone. Even though I know there's no one in here, but that's okay. Good morning, team. Good morning, everyone. All the notes are there. Pretty much in short, algorithms have flipped back on the positive side, so we're going to be looking to force the market up long as yeah, I mean, well, ideally that would be the goal is to force the markets up into a long bias move because the algorithms have flipped. Occasionally there's times where even when we flip the algorithms positive, we still pull back instead of go up. But anyways, that's mapped off there. So number one, stock market flipped algorithms positive, markets positive, no back test yet, so that's somewhat dangerous. I took a long on the penny stock AUID today at $12.12. That was earlier this morning. I'm still holding UPRO 3x leverage ETF. I added some this morning as well for hopefully a force up long. And the danger of adding more to my UPR position is that the market has no back test of the algorithm flip. So if the market decided to do a back test, then instead of forcing the markets up long, we're going to go down, right? But that being said, right now the forced algorithm push long target would be $675. Um, Back test levels that have not yet really back tested. It would be the 50 SMA and so on and so forth. So yeah, we'll just let the day open. We also have a huge gap up. So if we're lucky and the market makers and those that control and manipulate stock markets want to do a gap and go or a gap pull back and go, we have a really big gap today. So that can lead to pretty far extension targets on the upside. So it just basically depends. We'll see. Don't know. All I know is that the market flipped back positive. Therefore, everyone who's been short selling the market over the past week is more susceptible to getting squeezed up. And all we can do is cross our fingers and hope, right? We don't control the market. Again, the worst case scenario is that the long just flops out and we have to go for a pullback first, which if we do, I mean, that's completely fine. That's just how the market works. But yeah. So I'm really hoping that we do an algorithmic forced push long, squeeze out a bunch of shorts from the past week or whatever, catch them all off guard and blow them up to $675. That'd be pretty sick. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Don't know. And I don't control the market. Just watch when algorithms flip. So thumbs up, yeah. All right, let's see. Is there anything else worth maybe buying this morning? Actually, that might be a little wrong. Let's see. Extended trading hours or regular trading hours. All right. So this is kind of the issue with today is that yeah, is right now the price of the market is at I don't want to say it's the pro. I mean, yeah, I mean it's a little maybe a little bit of a problem. It's the price is at $672. The SMA of the market is extremely sloped negative. We've gapped up all the way to here, and there's no back test, right? So that pretty much means this thing has to open and just keep going, right? So that's kind of it. It's like, it's not, I don't want to say it's just not maybe the perfect scenario for long, but one thing's for certain is we can't be betting aggressively down knowing that the system is flip positive. So if you see, right, the market went below, so we were down. Then this morning we gapped up and over. Now we're here. So we've gapped up through trend, right? We're up and over. So when that happens, short sellers are a little bit more susceptible to getting squeezed up because those that don't follow the system do not know that we've flipped the market positive and we're going to do our best to run the markets to the upside. There's times where we will fail because the market still does whatever it wants, but the odds are ever more in our favor to be blowing up long than it is to be going short, right? So basically, our objective today is to screw over everyone that's been going short the past week. And then we're all going to laugh. If we're correct, we're going to giggle because then after the end of it, we'll go look at the news, and the news is going to be like, oh, stocks put on big gains and oh, lol, and all this, whatever, right? So we should already expect that the news is going to start flipping a little bit positive. It's probably already done that today because obviously with the big gap up, you're going to see news articles saying stuff like futures gap up overnight, things are looking optimistic, whatever, right? And we probably have some sort of the economic calendar. I didn't really look this morning because again, it really doesn't actually matter. Um, what is it? Today's Thursday, I think, the 20th. Yeah. So you have unemployment, which is important actually. Initial jobs claims, like that's all important. But as far as like the stock market goes, we're just going to move it whatever way we want, regardless of that news or those economic data metrics, right? Like for example, I'm pretty sure. So like um, unemployment 4.3%. Like that's not necessarily good. And then and the market's going up. Like what? So unemployment's not great, but we're also going up, right? So how does that make sense? Well, because we flipped the stock market algorithms to the buy side. So we're going to try to move things up, regardless of what the data says, right? Now, some kid at CNBC that just got a first job for this week, he's going to come on and say, oh, stocks are putting on gains because, yes, unemployment not bad or is bad, but because it's bad, then it's good, and because good is left and right is up. Yes, that makes sense. So, so that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot more to say, and there's only two people on the stream, so again, pretty much just talking to myself, but that's okay. That's okay. And I'm glad the two people watching this morning have said hello this morning. I really appreciate your guys' charisma and your friendliness. I'm sure you're just a ball when it comes to your family get-togethers. You're just a ball of joy in the family get-togethers, I'm sure. Yep, so let's go look at the news. Let's see if we've predicted it right, which, I mean, this one's not hard to predict. Whenever there's a big gap up, it's super easy to predict the news because you already know they're all going to be talking about the gap up, right? Like, that's obvious. So let's just see because, we got to do it. We do it every day. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. So let's see. Stock market news today. Dow rallies as Nvidia surges on earnings. So now we're back to it's Nvidia saving the market. All right. Which granted, like yeah, those that control the stock market could easily have just blown up Nvidia and used it as their vehicle to manipulate stock markets higher. They do that. Global stocks rally as Nvidia revives AI optimism. So 2 weeks ago, AI was going to kill everyone. Now it's all of a sudden a good thing, you know. As market rallies to record high, ultra rich family what is I don't want to read that. High stakes for whatever. All right, it's Nvidia earnings, Nvidia earnings, Nvidia earnings, Nvidia earnings, Nvidia earnings. I mean, the originality is just through the roof this morning. So, no, it's not totally Nvidia's earnings. I mean, maybe a little bit, but the bottom line is we flipped the algorithms on the stock market to long. So that's just what we're probably going to try to do. I don't like whatever. Like, sure, Nvidia went up and that's going to help put on gains for the stock market. That is true. But the reality is Nvidia was the vehicle probably used to manipulate equities, move them higher to then trigger an algorithm flip in the market and force market makers to now transition on the upside. And what we're going to do is squeeze out shorts from the past couple weeks. Or, well, how was that a week? I don't even know. Let's see. What is that? When did the breakdown happen? The breakdown happened on the 13th, and now it's the 20th, so it's been about 7 days. So it's been about a week that we've been down in the market, and now we're about to pump them up, and we're just gonna giggle. Oh, I love this stuff. It's getting a little too easy. Not really. It's not too easy, but it is fun. It's far more fun when I'm not the one getting my ass kicked every single day. And it's far more fun when you're doing the ass kicking. And also know you're gonna do the ass kicking before you do the ass kicking. That's even more fun, right? Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Oh my goodness, the three people that are watching this chat room still haven't said good morning. I will keep you in my prayers tonight, and I will ask baby Jesus to soften your hearts and make them more open, empathetic, and loving. Because it would appear you maybe need it just a little bit. So I will do that for you tonight, or maybe in the next 10 minutes. I don't know. Let's go, baby. Take the stock market up to $675. Let's go, team. Let's go. You can see I'm a little bit more active, having a little bit more fun this morning, and the reasons why is because things are changing. See, the past week we were just bearish, we're just down, we're just in a sell signal, and we've been doing that for a week, so there's not a whole lot new to tell you other than we just gotta wait until the market flips on the long. And then what are we going to do? We're going to rally it up. This is what we've been talking about for a week. It just happened through the after hour session. That's another thing is they did it while you all were sleeping. Same with me. But I was buying a couple days ago, just a little bit because, you know. But anyway, so they have flipped the stock market back to a long. They triggered the long operations in the overnight session when so the longs got triggered last night at um when? Hold up. Yeah, so at 1800 hours. So what is that? That's 4 p.m., 7 o'clock or whatever. Um, yeah, or 6. Yeah, 6 o'clock there is when they started in the after hour session. So unless you're ready to buy at 6 p.m. last night, 7 p.m. for the purpose of the algorithm shift, then you woke up this morning, you see the markets shooting up, and arguably we're really close to our price target of 675. So someone's gonna wake up this morning and be like, "Oh, the market's looking good. The market's looking great." It's like, bro, you're pretty late at this point. You're pretty behind. You know what I mean? So we are trying to take the market up to about 675, maybe even further. It just kind of depends, but 675 seems like a logical destination for this morning. And yeah, I mean, the long started last night, 6 in the morning. Algorithms started moving the market. A lot of times they like to make the markets trigger buy or sell algorithms in the after-hour sessions when you're sleeping, when you're not paying attention, etc. Again, that's just kind of how the game goes. That. So, good morning, Juan. Good morning. Good morning, Jake. Joachim? Or no, it's J Kim, but it could be a Joachim. Yeah. So we want to hit the pump. We want to pump it all the way to 675. Now, it's possible, I don't, I mean, I might be wrong. Let's just double check. I mean, the only other real scenario here would be like that, maybe, and or the 50 SMA breakdown. So, I mean, I still want to go to 675, but if I were to kind of make things a little bit safer as far as targets go, like this would be our long target zone destination for this morning, this whole green box. So the best way I can explain it is, so you guys know we've been bearish for the past week, right? So the market's been what, going down, right? And now this morning you see us wake up and it's like running up, right? So aside from the SMA systems, and what have you, this is VWAP system. So we know that a sell signal started here and we've been down. So what do we do every single time and repeat nearly every single time, right? Same pattern, if you will. Not bull flags, not bear flags, not those patterns that don't work, right? So what we're doing is we're tracking the volume of the market. So yeah, so it was last week we've been bearish. So the volume weighted average price of the bearish selling trend is these blue lines, right? And what happened today slash after hours, we cleared them. So now we're squeezing out the volume weighted average price of that sell trend, hence going like that, right? So the purple boxes or the green box you see in the purple lines, these are, for lack of better term or words, these would be kind of like max pain of people that have been selling this market down. If you're considering the VWAPs in the middle to be everyone's average price. Clearly, someone who shorted the low of the market is definitely feeling the pain, regardless of it going here. They were feeling the pain when it spiked up on that day, you know what I mean? So just to try to keep things as simple as I can, you can think of this as kind of like it's like an ongoing developing football field, and the blue lines are the halfway mark. And currently, for the past week, the Chicago Bears have had the offense, and then the Detroit Lions, because I'm in Michigan, the Detroit Lions came back a bit and they forced the Bears and got an interception and then crossed the 50-yard line. And now the Bears are scrambling to figure out what's going on. But ultimately, we've just transitioned the playing field and we're going to take them to their end zone and we're going to score. And we pretty much did that already, hence getting the market into that green box, right? The best case scenario would be to get to the back of the end zone, and the back of the end zone would be 675. And then obviously the objective is then to take the trophy and go to the off season and giggle, right? If you will. So now, but yeah, so essentially, as far as the last like week goes to today, etc., we have transitioned the market from the bearish environment to arguably a bullish environment. How long does the bullish environment last? Again, I don't know. I don't make up the rules. Just like I told you last week, hey guys, we're in a bearish move. I don't know when it's going to go back to positive, but I guarantee it will go back to positive at some point, and we will be here for it. We are here for it, but we were asleep for it because it happened. Well, we're in a sleep, but at that time, I think I was playing Rocket League. I was playing Rocket League last night at 6 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, I actually bought some MS. Oh, I forgot to put that in the notes. I think, yeah. So I got a little MSTR. Bought some MSTR last night at 6 o'clock. give or take. So it should be number five. Bought MSTR last night in after hours, assuming Bitcoin can still bounce. So bought MSTR. All right. And what else? Yeah, I don't even know what I was saying. Yeah, whatever. Market flip positive. We just ran it up to short-term trading targets. So I'm not like as optimistic of being long the market right now as we enter the long target because we want to see if, some sellers might step in, right? So it's like I don't want to be buying into this high because that doesn't make as much sense. Right? Objectively, if you're going to be long, you want to be long either on lows like I was. Now, you only buy lows in a sell move if you're starting very small. So I bought into that dip. I think I bought in, I don't know, I bought somewhere in here. And then this morning, as we flipped positive, I started buying more, assuming we would squeeze to 675, right? So I'm not buying into the 675 zone I bought before, etc. Um, So we don't know how long the market's going to stay positive for. We don't know how long the market are going to force this move up for. We have ideas, we think we know, we think we have edge, but at the end of the day, the people that control the market, and we're just here along for the ride, right? So, so that being said, we're in a buy signal. You're not supposed to be short the stock market anymore. You were supposed to be short until, maximum 6 p.m. last night when it started flipping the algorithm back positive. You should have been closing. And now we're going to ride the long market for as long as we possibly can until we are signaled to not. Remember, I told you, well, I tell this to you every single day, and then but that's because that's what the market tells me. I'm just relaying the information from the market to you guys. So really, this isn't even me. It's just the market's telling me to then tell you. All right. So, the other thing I always talk about with you guys is the volatility index and VVIX and blah, blah, blah. Right. So not only did the market flip the SMA back to positive this morning, but we also did what? We broke the VIX down. So now the volatility index is negative. So not only is the market positive, but the VIX is negative. That is confluence. That makes sense. It makes total sense that if the stock market algorithms go into a long, that the stock market algorithms go into a sell on the VIX. That means the markets are moving in coherence. It makes perfect sense. All right. No, I'm not playing options. It's all in the notes when I like right there. So I'll just put it like this. So this is everything that I've done from pretty much last night till this morning and I'm involved with. This is supposed to be kind of the notes board that when it's not covered up, you can pretty much read that and know everything that I'm doing behind the scenes, even if I'm not talking about it in the moment. Because that's another thing. We say so much stuff on a stream, it can get lost in translation. So I figured it's probably best I create a little note board there so you can pretty much always know what's going on, even if I'm not talking about it in the moment. So, yes, that being said, there's confluence in the market, right? The VIX did break down, the market did break up. All right, thumbs up. That makes sense. All right. It's not a situation today where the market's going positive, but the VIX is still positive. That would be okay, which market is lying, right? Then you have to solve, well, which market is correct and which one is not. But if both markets are moving in coherence, confluence, then it's like, all right, thumbs up. That makes sense, right? The only thing that could knock us off this path is if the market just pulls a scam ass move, right? Where it's like, oh, actually, you thought we were going to go up, but we're going to open up the market and just dump every stock and whatever. Like something weird like that would have to happen to stop the train for the moment, right? That being said, markets can always do what they want, blah, blah, blah. So let's get into this a little bit more. Let's bring up this chart here. Maybe if Thinkorswim ever works. All right, there we go. So you guys know as well as I do, we talk about this every single day. So what do we got? We got the VIX. Where's the VIX? So we know the VIX what went into an uptrend back here. So we basically said you're bearish to stock market because obviously the volatility index is up. And then we said, hey guys, Once the volatility index breaks below the 50 SMA, then we will start a long move, if you will, or the VIX pulls back. So where's the 50 SMA? The 50 SMA is the red line. The red line is overlapped by the yellow line, so that when we look at price action in the pre-market, we can know where that price point's at. So, with the stock market gapping up, you can see VIX has gapped down. It has gapped down below the 50 SMA. The yellow line's the 50 SMA. Granted, it does not have a back test of it in the pre-market session or obviously in the live, so that's always in the back of your mind. All right. Every breakdown and breakout, generally, you want some degree of confirmation. Now, the volatility index going down and the market going up is confirmation that they're moving in unison, but there hasn't been confirmation of the levels that have actually been broken down slash tested. Granted, it doesn't always have to do that, but that's in the back of your mind when it doesn't happen. So you're like, So when I told you, you know, what could stop the long, right? If the market wants to go for a back test, markets can always do whatever they want. If they wanted to go for a back test, they could. Granted, that might be kind of challenging, but that's just something you keep in mind, right? There's no back test of this breakdown and or the breakup this morning. But either way, long story short, markets are positive, volatility index is negative. When the market opens, we'll get an idea for where VVIX is, assuming VVIX is obviously going to be gap down too, below the 50 SMA, following suit with VIX. But what I want to see is whether or not VVIX has sold off faster or slower. Because if VVIX is, excuse me, if VVIX has not gapped down or sold off as much as the VIX, then we're going to, I was gonna say, if it hasn't sold off as much as the VIX, then we're going to view that as institutions hedging volatility. Um, Sorry, let me rephrase that. Brain farting. Basically, if the VIX isn't gone down, or sorry, if VVIX is not going down as much as the VIX, that pretty much tells us that the smarter players aren't completely sold on the long move. So we'll see how that all kind of develops at the open. So yeah, we'll go from there. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. MSTR position is now red on the day. No big deal. Well, yeah. So let's see, where's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin, yeah, it makes sense. I was just kind of crapping out for the time being. So what we'll do is we'll close out that small little position on MSTR. So I made a gain overnight on MSTR. So we're going to close that one out. And the AUID long kind of worked, kind of didn't. I started with a small position and it just wasn't really getting a great amount of love. So pretty much just decreased that to pretty much nothing. So I could keep an eye on it and see if it starts shaping up better. Maybe I'll do something with it again. So where is MSTR on this list by MSTR last night? All right, so this would be closed MSTR fully waiting for beta buy level. Oh, nope. Dang it, that's right. I made a hotkey, the smiley face. I can't do that. All right. Yeah, time to buy back today. Morning, Connor. Catched up with a live. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So, yep, I closed out my MSTR because it's just not going to go up for the moment. So, no point of giving back the money I made overnight, which wasn't a ton, but it was a nice little sparkaroo to the day. So, like we said before, pretty much what's going to happen is if Bitcoin pretty much gives up like this 89K, it's then going to go down to 87K, right? So yesterday it kind of broke down a bit, rallied up, and now again, if we break down more, it's just going, which again, I guess it seems kind of silly to say that, but yeah, I mean, obviously if it goes down, it's going to go down, right? Yeah, but anyways, if it goes down, it's going to go down to about 87,000, and then when we get there, we'll probably look back long MSTR or something like that. So just again, waiting for the next. And so the reason that I bought last night too was because ready, we came into the level, bounced. We dipped below the level a little bit, kind of the halfway mark between the level here and the level here. I'm kind of like, it's worthy of another attempt here. So I started buying, and then over the overnight, made some money, sold some, and then this drop out here, I'm like, that doesn't look good. So I just took off my last little bit, and now I'm gonna let it continue to drop out in the hopes that it does break this down and it goes down to there now, right? And then maybe I'll look back long there or something. So. Either way, our prediction for Bitcoin, I mean, can we get a round of applause, guys? I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, come on. In October, Bitcoin, it's going to top. We're going to enter a bear market in 2025. Next thing you know, October 2025 comes. Bitcoin tops. It's now down over 20% from highs. Enters a bear market. One of the largest globally traded currencies in the world. We predict a bear market. Exact month, exact top, and years ahead of time. That's pretty cool. Thumbs up. Yay. So, yep. And just an FYI, guys, a lot of the stuff I trade behind the scenes again, like I don't put on massive positions with anything these days. It's well in this account. Sorry, that's not entirely true, but yeah, I'm usually not putting on like mega positions with like this stuff. Like AUID, I was holding one share, like because I traded it up and I only bought 25 shares of that this morning because I was kind of like, it's just one of those scenarios. Wasn't something I felt was amazing, but I thought there was something there. It's only bought 25 shares of that stock, and if it turned out better, maybe I would have added more. And then it just kind of started to underperform. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just drop this down to literally one share. That way, if it does end up performing and kind of shaping up, at least I'm still paying attention to it. MSTR, I mean, I swung 5 shares overnight, made like 20 bucks on that. Again, this is a very small account I'm trying to grow back up that I just started this year, beginning of this year. It's a Roth IRA account, which I've never been able to use a Roth IRA for trading because my income brackets were too high. But over the past year or so, or 2 years, my income has dropped, allowing me to actually invest in a Roth IRA. So now I'm using a Roth IRA for trading because it's all tax-free gains at the end of the day. So. Yeah, so again, just to know a lot of the stuff I'm doing, I'm pretty risk averse on a lot of these positions. So any position I take, even if I lose, it's I'm taking a position. If I lose, it does not matter. It's not going to ruin this account, right? So just know that anytime I say, hey guys, I'm getting this, or I'm doing that, or I'm buying this, or I bought this, just know it's nothing is a mega position, right? So you should never think that if you see me do something or there's something on my stream that I'm doing that means you should just go and rail in a bunch of shares, right? Every time I take a position on any one of these things, it's very risk averse, basically hoping that if I lose, it doesn't really matter, right? So if the day is very active, you could arguably see me buy 30 different penny stocks, right? 30 of them. Okay, maybe not 30 of them because that really doesn't ever happen, but 15, 10, 20. I might nibble on 30, 20 different stocks for the day. And all I need is just a few of them to hit pretty good and you'll do okay. So just know that, right? Behind the scenes, I'm still just playing with a small account on this stream. Granted, yes, I have bigger accounts and all that good jam. But specifically when I'm on this stream, generally I'm working in a Thinkorswim Roth IRA trading account. Now, obviously, that account's going to get bigger and bigger as I do my contributions to it. But again, you can only contribute so much per year, right? And this is my first year, so we're just working with a little bit of a smaller amount. Granted, it's been a lot of fun actually because I haven't done this in a while. So it's actually helping a lot with my psychology too, kind of going back to the more risk-averse stuff. But so yeah, we have long-term stuff bigger accounts that I'll put on some other, bigger trade. Oh, actually, this is probably a great time. I forgot to tell everyone, which is only 11 people, so it's really not that many, but I did actually liquidate 50% of my gold and silver position a couple days ago, which if anybody knows me, you guys know that I've owned gold and silver for a very, very long time. So to get rid of gold and silver myself was kind of a big thing for me. Granted, so what I ended up doing was I sold my physical gold and silver, what was arguably less liquid because it's physical, and I kept 50% of my portfolio as far as gold and silver goes in my longer term investment account paper, right? So I still hold paper gold and silver, paper being the stock or like the ETFs, if you will. So there's that. So that was kind of big for me to get rid of so much of that. But I kind of felt maybe it was not that it couldn't go higher, but I mean I already over 100x'd my or 100x. Well, I guess that would be true. Yeah, I 100x'd my gold and silver position, over 100% return on gold and silver, which granted is not the easiest thing to do on gold and silver, right? Like, it grows and appreciates fairly slowly. Well, this past year and a half it hasn't, right? But it's not easy to get that sort of return on gold and silver. So when I looked at that return, I went, all right, let's do it. And now all I'm doing is moving that money into a new asset. So I've just moved that gain, and that gold and silver sale into real estate. So it's not like I'm selling it for luxurious items to go spend. I'm basically selling it to make a new return in real estate. Um, so that gold and silver, so we acquired some more property, more real estate. And so that gold and silver position is going to go down to pay a home equity line of credit that's at 7.4%. So essentially, I'm taking my 100% gain, 50% of that, selling that, using that to pay down a home equity line of credit at 7.4%. So the 100% return then goes to 107.4% return in savings though. So not actually earning, but in savings. And then what that's allowing me to do is kind of open up the door for my flywheel real estate investing strategy for the foreseeable future. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like I didn't want to sell it, but I knew if I wanted to expedite my real estate strategy and growth potential, then it was kind of the time to do that, right? So, so that's what I decided to do. I took off that capital, moved it to debt pay down to open up credit availability for real estate expansion. So it's all part of a big game. So when I weighed the odds and I weighed it all, I'm like, you can't go wrong, Connor. Like, and it was tough because man, I do love gold and silver. I've always liked gold and silver. I like to wear it, talk about it, own it, and I've owned it for a long time. So I was starting to feel that like attachment to it. So it took me a couple weeks of wrestling with it to finally go, all right, you can do this. Just sell it. It's fine. You still own some. And the benefits of selling significantly outweigh the upside potential, I think, on gold and silver. Unless all the people online that talk about gold and silver going to $10,000 an ounce are correct, then I definitely made the wrong move. But who knows, right? So anyways, that's what we did. So use my silver, gold, liquidate, move it over to a real estate flywheel effect. Velocity banking, private equity, real estate strategy. Yes, I'm running my own small private equity real estate strategy, believe it or not. I'm not in private equity, but I'm using the same models that private equity would use on Wall Street for growing real estate. Smart, not over leveraged. And so, yeah, gold was just a way to kind of make that all happen faster. So, cheers. Dude, does anyone know why the market's going up this morning? I'm just sitting here in my office in my PJs, you know, and I'm like, what is going on? You know, because for the past week and a half, I've been in my office, reading articles, and they all told me that AI was over, the bubble was bursting, and here we are, screaming back to all-time highs, it seems like, and all those people that wrote those articles are nowhere to be found. They are not here for my comforting in all these losses that I took over the last week because, they told me AI was the bubble was bursting. So I just loaded up on a bunch of puts and now the market's screaming up and I'm like, what's going on, guys? You know? Just don't know what's going on. See, you can see I'm more active. I'm having fun today because the market is fun today. We are transitioning. Things are changing. There's more of a narrative to talk about other than, hey, we're bearish. This is the same shit, you know? So today's the change. And if this continues on for a couple days, then you'll see it'll be boring again. Why? Yeah, Steve, I own five properties now, actually. So from the time that we talked about that or when that would have been buying a plane. Oh, yeah, buying a plane to rent out. Yeah, so that never came. I thought you were talking about houses, yeah. That did not end up panning out, and why? Um, I forget exactly why. Man, I hardly remember that even happened. It was such a brief thing. Yeah, we started looking into it and then quickly realized like it just wasn't something. Man, what happened? I don't know if it was the guy we were talking to wasn't straight with us and like his plane wasn't as good. Man, there's something. Maybe it'll come back to me. Or maybe it was just we realized that the numbers weren't going to work the way we were thinking. That would probably be the most logical. Um, Nvidia's earnings came in surprisingly good. Did they come in surprisingly good? Or did they come in right in, did they come in surprisingly good right on time? You know? I mean, the market was going down. I mean, like we had to do something to save the market, right? Right? Yeah. So what did we do? We used Nvidia. That's what we did. So the people that controlled the market used Nvidia as the vehicle to move equities higher and save the market from selling off more. It's pretty much what I would read, has happened ultimately. So yeah, there's that. All right. So I am following the stock MNDR. It's a penny stock. I do not currently have any position on it, but it is something that I'm wondering, is it gonna turn into a banger? Or is it just gonna turn into a shit box? I don't know, but I am following it. So we will see. That is not a recommendation. So if I start seeing candles go up, I know that one of you is starting to buy it. All right. Literally, if I say something on stream and see candles go up, that means you guys are doing something. So I own five single family homes. I don't know if I really want to get into multifamily. I could. And if I do get into multifamily, it's gonna be later when I can just buy a multifamily property outright with no debt, which I know sounds crazy because in real estate they tell everyone leverage up debt, BRRRR strategy, and all those things are fine, but I don't like that. I don't like debt like that. I'm sort of like Dave Ramsey, but like hybrid, right? I like Dave Ramsey that you pay debt off, you get out of debt. Now he obviously used way too much debt originally and basically screwed himself. That's why he's a very no debt kind of guy now because he got the wrath of it really bad. So, but anyways, yes, I don't leverage up real estate, and in the way that is very dangerous, if you will. Um, so a lot of people will buy multifamily properties and whatever. Or you'll see the ads. For example, you see the ads online. Hey, look it, get into real estate with none of your own money, whatever. I'll show you how to close the deal with none of your own money, none of this, none of that. It's like if you need to if you're trying to get into real estate and have no money, you probably shouldn't be trying to get into real estate. Therefore, you should not listen to the ad on YouTube of the guy that says, "Here, give me 10 seconds of your time. Let me show you how to get into real estate with no money down. Use other people's money." All this bullshit, high risk, high leverage, some sort of schemy, whatever. Don't do it. Stupid, I think. So I don't do that. Now, as far as multifamily goes, I might get into multifamily. The reason I haven't is because I know that the exit strategy isn't as easy, arguably. If you're selling a multifamily, you're only selling to investors. That's it. So your exit liquidity becomes smaller. Not that it's not there, not that you can't exit. It's also just an area that I'm not as versed in. So I have not yet got to that moment where I've experienced nor learned the exit strategy of a multifamily property business. arguably, I may get there one day. But regardless of getting there or not, it doesn't, the truth still remains. The exit liquidity in multifamily is smaller than that of single family. So I know in the future, if I ever wanted to liquidate my rental portfolio, right now I am in the best position to do so as quickly as possible because I have the population pool for residential family ownership. Bigger population to sell to versus multifamily. All right. Now, obviously, you make money slower because there's less doors. So you play this game of grow fast, grow a little slower and safer, grow faster, riskier, grow slower, safer. So I could grow slower and safer and snowball to the point where if one day I wake up and go, I do want to own some multifamily, then all of my residential real estate will pay for the entire multifamily property and I won't have to take on, well, it's not that I wouldn't necessarily be taking on debt. It's just that there would be so much incoming cash flow from my residential that it won't even matter. I'll just be buying out this property. You know what I mean? So that's the goal is to A, build enough residential properties in a safe portfolio. And then if I want to expand that to multifamily, say when I enter my 40s, I will be in a really good position to do so. Um, and I am using a hybrid Burr strategy. See, I don't necessarily, not that I don't. Hold on, I got a phone call. Speaking of, coming in from a realtor. One second. All right, sorry about that. It's funny. Actually, I muted my mic, but Zoom keep. That's so weird. I don't even know how that's happening anymore. So like when I mute, maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. Anyways, have you considered Airbnb your prop? I mean, yeah, I've considered Airbnbs too, but again, that's a whole different game. I don't want to deal with turnover and yeah, you might be able to make more money if you know, but then again, you pretty much need to have a property in a very desirable area for vacationing. Cost goes up, management becomes less easy. Um, Airbnbs and vacation rentals are dependent on the backbone of the economy being successful. Therefore, if not, people aren't going to go rent your Airbnb, right? Versus if the economy's doing bad, people will first try to pay the rent on their residential home they're renting versus an Airbnb, etc. Um, so yeah, I mean, I've thought about it, but I've just come to the conclusion it's not something I want to get involved with. I don't want to deal with turnover like that. I'd rather have steady, longer term tenants that I can build a relationship with, provide a good home for, make sure that the repairs are done on time, make sure that the home they're living in is as comfortable as possible while they're renting from me. So that's the other thing too, is that I do enjoy being able to provide and simultaneously low key take care of a family that needs the help, right? If they're renting, they need the home. I like to fix things. I like things to be done right. I am not a slumlord, and I'm not someone just out for a money grab, even though I am, but I am grabbing money graciously. Um, yeah, I take care of my properties. I take care of my tenants very, I would say is probably better than most. And it feels good. It's something I can take pride in. I'm happy about that. So, yeah, that's that. Maybe one day I'll do multifamily. Don't know, but I'm positioned for it if I want it. Okay, so what's going on? Is AUID going up? Oh, a little bit, just a little skipper. Nothing crazy though. What about MNDR? Nothing good. Either this thing just has to randomly pick up or it's going to try to sell off towards about $1.90, $1.86. So if MNDR doesn't just randomly pick up, it's going to sell off and arguably trend a little bit towards $1.86, worst case scenario. Um, AUID pretty much doing nothing fun. CRNC garbage. MAGN. That's actually kind of working a little bit, but PACS. What is this? Hmm. All right. Well, hold on real quick. Let me get over into the market. Oh, if Bitcoin just schemed me, I'm gonna be annoyed. But anyways, the SPY, the SP Sizzle Magoo, hitting that rippy. Oh, come on, YouTube. You know you want to share our stream with a wider audience this morning. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. Stop being discriminatory. Gonna have to report you. Again, guys, the market has pretty much jumped up into our long targets, if you will. One of them. So again, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much that. I don't have a whole lot more to say. Ooh, come on, AUID, do something good. Don't crap out. Again, if AUID doesn't do anything special, it just pretty much means it can fall back towards like, or wait, hold on. Oh, that's right. AUID has to get over the 4 hour. I forgot that. Which basically means AUID is right on resistance at $2.20. I totally missed that. But again, if we do get through 220, then AUID becomes better. So that's kind of it. It's just kind of a game of does AUID make it through 220 or not? That's all that matters. If it does, maybe we get a little pump or Magoo. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open up Weeble and see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. All right, so VIX, VVIX are all down. Again, like I said, we had a really nice overnight gap push on market, but look at I'm just gonna delete all this off real quick. So if you look at this screen, again, we do not have a back test of the 50 SMA. So that pretty much means what? The market just has to keep going up, or we're kind of far away from support. So let's just see if the SPY were to do a gap and go or a gap pullback go, that means the market would target all the way up to there. So basically $6,794.67 on the SPX is our long target as long as the market stays in an uptrend and this Fibonacci does not break. That price will happen. It's just a matter of when, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So That'd be cool if that happens. I don't necessarily think it's gonna happen today, but you never know. Could do something crazy. Probably not gonna happen today, but you know. But a lot of times when I say it's probably not gonna happen, then it does happen. So maybe I'm reverse psychologying my psychology of the psychology. Yeah, the goal of the real estate portfolio is to hopefully, best case scenario, build a $100,000 positive cash flowing real estate portfolio, hopefully by the age of 42. That might be a little aggressive, might not truly be able to make that happen, but I think we would definitely safely be able to do $50,000 in monthly cash flow. Like no mortgages, no HELOC, no none of that. All paid off by 42. So that's what I'm kind of at least aiming for. But my real goal is to try to do $100,000 in monthly cash flow, all paid off. And then if I wanted to move into multifamily, you could and you'd be raking in $1.2 million dollars. So at that point, I could get a $5 million complex and it'd be paid off in 5 years if I wanted to. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do is set myself up in a way that, when I get older, if you will, doors are pretty open in terms of what I could or could do. So, if I'm still streaming on YouTube, you guys will be here for the ride. Granted, I probably will still be streaming on YouTube because just chilling at home anyways. Oh my goodness, the stock market is going up. What is happening this morning? Can anybody teach me what the hell is going on? Seriously, I need a mentor that will teach me why last week the news is all bearish, telling me that AI was gonna come into my home and kidnap me. And now they're telling me AI is the greatest thing that's ever hit planet Earth. Can anybody explain that to me? Does anybody know? And if you have a mentor that knows that, can you point me in the right direction? Because I need help. I'll be back. I'm gonna get coffee. Not that I need one, but I'm gonna get one. Oh, sorry, must have been muted there for a hot second. Well, whatever, doesn't even matter. You guys already know what's gonna happen. It's all on the screen. It's all there. Game plan's already written out. Um, so, yeah. Oh yeah, Steve, actually I can't I'm not allowed to trade MNDR. I actually tried to get long some a little bit ago, but they're not allowing me to trade that in my Roth IRA account. They're protecting me, making sure I'm safe for making money. Mm-mm. Sorry guys, just kind of working on some stuff in the background right now. Again, I don't have a lot to say. We're just long the stock market. You should just be long. You were supposed to be long last night at 6 p.m. I know most of you probably aren't, but that's the truth. That's the only thing to say. And we gonna just keep letting it pump for as long as we can. Long as we can. Oh man, YouTube is just struggling this morning on advertising our stream to new people. I mean, come on. How much do we got? What do we have to do? Get naked and predict the stock market at the same time before they'll show new traders that you don't need to look at bull flags or you don't need to look for patterns, you don't need to buy trade ideas penny stock scanner, etc. I mean, come on, YouTube, do it for the people. Dude, the stock market's going up today. That's crazy. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? It just gonna repeat every day. Same old thing every day, every week. The market goes in an uptrend, and a downtrend, and an uptrend, and a downtrend. And all you gotta do is figure out when that happens. Come on, baby. Pump the market all the way to $6,794.67 or magoos. Let's see. What does the old stock market news look like? What's going on, Bitcoin? Bitcoin. I mean, I guess I made the right call so far. Hasn't really done anything. All right. What's our stock market news looking like today? Stock market today, Dow, S&P 500, Nasdaq top after earnings beat. Job report blows past. The jobs report is just blowing the market. It's got it on its hands and knees and it's just blowing the market up. Stocks keep gaining after jobs. Nvidia surges. Dow rallies 600 points as Nvidia reignites the AI trade. Stock market today. Dow rallies as Nvidia surges on earnings. 46 minutes ago from Investor's Business Daily. Jobless rate hits nearly 4-year high, but hiring picks up. S&P futures rise. Holy schmoly, did we see that coming well ahead of time? Oh man, I got to get a job at CNBC or any one of these places so that I can start writing news articles about what everybody else is going to write a news article about and post it before they all write about it. Stock market enters buy algorithm. Stocks are most likely to go up. Today we have jobs reports. Everybody's going to tell you it's the jobs or it's Nvidia. Blah, blah, blah. Right? That way we could beat every single one of their articles every single time. Oh, it's so comical. I love this game now. It's so much fun. I mean, I always loved it, but I just love it more now that I can't be manipulated by news or the market, kind of, I guess you could say. Oh, come on. Let's go, YouTube. Turn the algorithm on. You can do it, little guy. Turn the algorithm on. Let it be known that you could use one SMA, and that is it, and predict the stock market to a degree. Come on. Let the people have the good info. Let them have the good information. Stop gatekeeping. The gatekeeping is going strong from account to account. Okay. You're here, sent by the YouTube algo. I mean, I doubt that, you know. Well, I mean, I don't doubt it, but again, Oliver, you've been following me for too long, you know. That's what I mean is again, we're just, like I literally see the same names over and over and over, right? So it tells me the reach really isn't truly there. But hopefully one day we'll get there, right? That's the goal, right? We're gonna get there one day. We'll get there. And that's the whole idea. Is that even if I have to sit here every single day of my life for 5 years talking to 10 people only, I will do that. And if after year 11, YouTube is like, finally, we'll allow some other people to get in, then the job is done. Job well done. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably just be here. I'll just probably be here until the end of time. Because like I said, behind the scenes, I'm growing a real estate portfolio, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm literally just going to be behind this computer for the end of times. Again, I'm never working for anybody else but myself again. No. So, which I've been doing for 10 years anyways. So, yeah, I mean, I'll probably just end up being streaming on YouTube for my entire life, probably. I can't really, I don't know, I've been doing it for so long now. It's like a part of who I am almost. You know, Granted, we weren't streaming for a while, but that's because they wouldn't let me stream. And when I say they, someone would not let me stream on YouTube. Internet was getting DDoSed every time I tried to stream. Shit would get knocked offline. Then all of a sudden one day it's like, oh, streams work again. It's like, so how is it that for 3 years or whatever it was, 2.5 years, no YouTube streams could get online, right? Same computer, same internet, same everything. And then 3 years later, it's like, oh, actually, yeah, it works again. It's like, what? It's like literally, who had their finger toying around in my stuff? Upside Investing 313. Are you from Detroit? The 313 there? If so, hello, fellow brother. Five. It's five. Hmm. Any hooser. Again, guys, pretty basic stuff here. Oh, I'm looking at Bitcoin SAR. Let's bring it back to the SPY here. Oh, wait, there's a couple other random things that started popping up on this scan or anything good. Not really. No. Yeah, just pretty much nothing. No. Oh, 9 to 5. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, actually, yeah, I would say that's actually probably a decent little top to short if anyone wants to do like a short-term trade. I kind of little late to that, but as you guys can see, what did we do? We took the stock market up to where? $675 so far today. What price did we say in the pre-market we were going to try to take the stock market to today? $675. So, must be just a lucky guess. Look at that. I mean, come on. I mean, who else puts arrows on your chart telling you where the market's going to go an hour and a half before it happens? I mean, let's be honest, people. Not many, if any. I know one is my business partner. I mean, honestly, they should just freaking screen share my chart on CNBC every day. You know, oh, so what do you guys think of the market today? What do you think of, shut up, it's going to $675. Stop talking. Oh my gosh, there's a short happening. Who would have thought? When you hit the long target, the market stops and then goes into a pullback. No way. Crazy. Oh no, why did the market have to hit a pullback at the long target? Because everyone who is long is closing their long. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, well, it's been an exciting day. We have once again predicted the largest globally traded largest globally traded ETF in the world, almost to the exact penny, a couple hours ahead of time. Job well done. That's one of the hardest things to do on planet Earth, and we did it correctly. Thumbs up, clap, everyone clap. Okay, nice claps. But boy, oh boy, what a blessing it is to predict the world's largest globally traded ETF in the entire world accurately hours before it happens. That is all glory to God. That's all I gotta say. All glory to the maker. Thank you for instilling such wisdom into my brain. I appreciate you for that. Took a lot of years, but we got there. We got there all right. Ah, oh man, we're just booming here this morning, people. Yeah, absolutely booming. Oh my gosh, the market's pulling back. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So, it's actually kind of an interesting day, because the S&P issues aren't really bullish. We had a little bit of bullish activity from the Magnificent Seven today. The advancing declining issues on the markets aren't really doing great, but the volume on the market is just through the roof today, flowing up. Which again, right? So the market's gone into a buy signal. So liquidity is coming back into the market. So that's why you're seeing the VOLD increasing, right? It's going up because the markets are turning positive, so people are more likely to deploy money into the markets, and essentially there's that. But what I'm slightly confused about though is even with all the money coming back in, all the volume coming back in positive, all of the stocks, well, not all of them, but the market isn't really I guess it's not bearish. I mean, they're only slow. Well, I guess you have the big gap. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it's just interesting. You see the volume in the market increasing, so money and liquidity is coming back into the markets, obviously, because we're flipping markets positive. But we're not really seeing that come to into the actual advancing declining issues metrics, which is kind of interesting. Which basically tells me like so far this isn't the strongest of rallies. Because if it was, then we would be seeing exceptionally better follow through on advancing declining issues on the markets. So, I mean, this would kind of fall in line with more of that forceful algorithmic push, not totally supported by some things, but markets aren't always straightforward as you'd like them to be. Oh, snap. Market has hit the long target of 675 smackaroonies, and now we are pulling back a rooney. This is a good learning example for you guys because this is a perfect, yeah, this is just a great example of how long targets are resistance starts. Same thing with sell targets, right? So, you know, if you pick the correct place for the markets to go to on the long, generally there's a good short-term tradable bearish move at the completion of a long target. Same thing with a sell target. If you have the correct sell targets, then that means you have the correct bounce spots. Okay. Basically, yeah, that's it. If you have good long targets, then you find shortable tops. If you have good sell targets, you find tradable bottoms. Right? I mean, because isn't the best sell target or the best short target as low as the market will possibly go before it then reverses? Yes. So that's what you're trying to do when you're short. When you're long, you're trying to take the market up for as far as possible before it may pull back, aka picking a top, right? So that is your objective with any and all trades is to be picking the absolute top for your long or the absolute bottom for your short, and vice versa, finding the absolute top for your short and absolute bottom for your long. And the only way you can ever even come close to doing that is if you find how to pick good long targets and sell targets. The better you are at picking a long target, the better you'll be at shorting a top. The better you're at picking a sell target, the better you'll be at finding a bottom to be able to long. The market is all about first tag. Well, not only, but a lot of the market is about first tags, right? It is not about the more time something bounces a level, it's support. That's wrong. If it's a good support, it will not last in that price for very long. It will hit it and reverse and go. That's a good support. A shitty support is one where it bounces, then the market rolls back down to it, then it bounces, and the market rolls back to it, and then it bounces. That is not a good support. If it was a good support, it would hit it and then say, bye. If it was a good support, there'd be no reason to come back down and test it again, right? So you now know that any time and anything you've ever read in the past, it says if something bounces this level more times at support, that's basically wrong, and you should tell that person to do better. They're not an idiot, they're not dumb, they're not stupid, but you should inform them that they need to do better because that is wrong. Did anything change on the old penny schmuck schmanish? Not really. Nope, everything's pretty meh. And that's another beautiful thing. I haven't looked at some of the other smaller ones. That's what they've been doing. Now that I think about it, they have been pumping, it seems like a lot of the really, really low penny stocks, not a lot of the dollar stuff. So being KK, yeah, I might have to focus some attention kind of on the smaller stocks next week because that's what it seems like they're doing. Not entirely, but I mean, for one, we've been in a sell move, so obviously the follow through on a lot of stuff has been pretty junk. But, ooh, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. A lot of the ones they've been putting on that scanner have been absolute trash, but the other ones have been okay. FGL. Ooh. Hmm. Oh, that was pre-market. I need to go to the day. Okay. Oh, wow. Scummy, 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 stonk. Huh. Yeah, well, late on that. I ain't gonna do anything good. Another decent one. What is this little shitbag? Ooh, could that be something? Hmm, hold off for the second. Hmm, ooh, maybe. Oh, dang it. Yeah, it's only got a 208, maybe. That's another interesting one. Quite a bit of volume on that one. And I'm noticing they're pumping a lot of stuff. They're not throwing a lot of stuff in my custom volume scanner this mornings, but they are putting a lot of it on these other things. LV, they're trying to keep them under the radar. I see what these little schemers are doing. I see what you little schemers are doing. I see now. I see what you guys are doing the past couple of days. You're disguising the moves. I know I'm not saying a whole lot right now. I'm just searching through stocks to see if there's something I'd like to put a trade on. But again, we are me, you, us, we, banks, hedge funds, smart people, well, smart-ish people are long the stock market. We have been since 6 p.m. last night. No, it does not work on the VIX or the DXY. You would be correct there. Well, I've never tried it on dollar, but I know it doesn't work on the VIX. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Hmm. What? Oh boy. Yeah, there's actually quite a few good moves in the market today, but none of which came up on this scanner. I wasn't really paying attention to the biggest gainers list, which I pretty much should have been. There's something about this MNDR that just seems interesting. It again, it has, well, yeah, it's like, what is the deal with this stock? I don't get it. Hold on. I mean, yeah, MNDR has just got an absolute metric ton of volume today, and there's no news. So it's like again, like why did you guys pop this stock up and throw just insane amounts of volume on it, and there's no news? Is that because something is to come? Will they let me buy it now or no? Are they still protecting me from making money? No, they won't let me. Your trade is not eligible for electronic entry. Please call Charles Schwab. How about no? How about you just let me spend money the way I want to spend my money? This is Charles Schwab, and we're trying to protect you. Let's see, an ETF. Meh. Hmm. Yeah, I just can't really pull the trigger on anything. I don't know. Let's just do another run through of all this. Actually, mm, AUID is just still basically doing nothing. EPSM actually is kind of maybe it's got an interesting look to it. It really does, but just cannot fully trust EPSM yet. Again, we're late to the initial break on that one that happened a couple days ago. Needs a new break. VELO actually did start an uptrend today, and it's over the 30 minute. But it's not enough volatility there, I don't think. BNKK, what's up with you? Actually, that's kind of interesting. Actually, I think I might buy a little bit of that. Yeah, I did just buy some BNKK. It's coming back down to the 4 hour trend. So it's basically at 4 hour support. Whether or not the market decides to hold 4 hour support and do anything cool is another story. It does, I mean, it doesn't look great. I just know it's right above a support level. So if the market decides to use the 4 hour support, then it'll be fine. And if not, then same as always, then we go down to the 30 minute. So I bought a little there because maybe we'll get lucky. And I got enough money on the day that it doesn't matter if I don't win that one. Let's see, FOSL. Hmm, funny. No, LAZR. Another interesting. Oh, look. Hmm. Man, I should have been paying way closer attention today. There were so many good setups I missed, but they're all in the shitty lower price stocks that I just wasn't paying. I just wasn't. That's all it was. I just wasn't on my game today. Should have been on my game today. Could have done pretty damn good actually, looking at all this shit. Oh, this guy. Ooh. Damn it. Well, that's another one. I don't know. I think I'm gonna buy some AIIO as well. I'm late to this one too, so I'm just taking a little bit. But that one started a nice uptrend today. Like these things are way a little bit late, but I mean that's another kind of interesting one. I don't know. I don't really care if I lose on these ones. I already won for the day and I didn't take enough that's really gonna hurt me. So whatever happens, happens. All good. Yeah, so like BNKK, they instantly dropped it out to 17 cents. That's the 4 hour trend. So instead of holding just above support, they pretty much scam dropped it right down to the target of 17.11. No big deal. Ended up just losing on that one. I took that off because I don't like the way it looks now. We're holding above and they just wash it out. So now I'll wait for the next support at 14 cents if need be. Again, I did grab some AIOO a little bit. Nothing fancy. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the reality is I should have been paying way closer attention to some of these things earlier today. Would have been even better, but I didn't. So there's always tomorrow to do better. Oh, AIIO. Let's see, what do we got? What do we get there? Not a ton. So, I want to bring up BNKK real quick and kind of show you what I was thinking. BNKK, is that what it's called? Yeah. Yeah, again, like I said, it wasn't the greatest looking setup, but it's kind of one of those things like you never know for sure. So like right here, right? So this was the breakout of what 17 cents. We sold all the way down to here and we're holding just above it. And that's when I'm like, we're kind of holding just above support. Like this could very well turn into a bounce. Granted, if it doesn't, what are we going to do? We're going to sell right back down to 17 cents. So that was the failed bounce straight to 17. So you know what I mean? It's like the risk was fairly low in that sense that if we wanted to bounce just above the support, we could have. And if it failed, I mean, the risk here is it was 5%, 6%. So it really isn't bad, right? It's not like we were buying up here when the risk would be 28%. Like that's stupid, right? So now we basically do nothing with BNKK. And if it ends up selling all the way off too, like here, then maybe there's a bounce. But I don't even think I'll trade that one because after it fails the 4 hour like this, I would assume the optimism is gonna start just fleeing from that. So probably won't even end up messing with that to be honest. But yeah, there was opportunity and then the opportunity failed and it was 5% decrease, no big deal, whatever. It is what it is. Okay. What was that? See, like AIIO, that's another one where, again, I should have been paying closer attention today, and I just really wasn't, right? So, like, this is another one I took some on. I mean, I've got like a couple percent gain on this and took a little off. I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of like a chase long at this point, but I thought I might be able to get something out of it. So, again, this is another good one where if you look just today, this thing started an uptrend, right? So, if you look at AAIO. All right, we know for a fact today the stock market or this stock started an uptrend on the 30-minute and the 4 hour, and that uptrend start was right where I put those lines. So this morning we can see it broke up into an uptrend, it back tested, held, re-broke out, and then obviously volume is starting to surge on it, right? So I don't want to say surge, but some volume's creeping in there, right? So this is kind of a lower volume penny stock manipulation play, if you will. I say it's manipulation because I just think everything in the stock market's manipulation, especially when it comes to penny stocks. Because and when I say manipulation, more like controlled, right? So we can obviously see this one was controlled. They broke it out, they held it, now they're running it. So this would be a successful long operation, right? So look at the way the market is moving here on this penny stock today and look at the stock market, right? The stock market entered a buy signal, the stock market entered a buying algorithm. Look at that play, right? Did we see this the past couple days? No, there was no penny stocks that were doing anything remotely close to this, where it's they break out, they pull back, they hold support, and then they go, right? That wasn't happening. And that's because there wasn't liquidity in the market for that to happen. See, now if we go look at if you look at the volume on the market, remember we talk about, hey guys, liquidity coming into the market, blah, 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 blah. Why is this thing stupid? I don't know why it does that. Anyways, so if you look down here at the VOLD, right, if you will, look at this is all liquidity coming back into the market, right? That's liquidity coming into the market. Look at that penny stock, right? That's liquidity coming in the market. So when liquidity enters the market, it trickles to Nvidia, Facebook, Google, penny stocks, etc., you name it. When liquidity is coming in, what can we do? We can force markets long, like you saw us do today. Before the stock market opened, what do we say? Hey, we're going to look to force the stock market upwards to $675. We did that, right? Liquidity is coming in. We're moving markets up. Liquidity coming in, we can pump penny stocks. So that's why you see me try to be a little bit more active on the penny stocks today, kind of looking around. I really didn't do a great job. I should have paid more attention to my biggest gainers list. I was really only paying attention to my Thinkorswim scanner, which, as you can see, got me in a little bit of trouble today because it didn't really give me anything good. Hence why I always say you don't really need like a custom scanner too much. Sometimes they help, but at the end of the day, all you need is a biggest gainers list. The biggest gainers list will always point you in the direction of any stock that's gaining on the day. Any stock that's gaining on the day usually has entered an uptrend. So that's the other thing too, why watching the biggest gainers is important because the biggest gainers are the ones going up, and the ones going up have to be going into an uptrend, typically. If they're going up and they're not entering an uptrend or been in an uptrend, it's because they're doing an oversold bounce in a bear market and they're going to resistance, right? Which you guys know how to find as well. So anyways, right, that's pretty much the spiel. That's how, it's pretty much how the game works, essentially. So, I have a very small position on AAIO right now. I did take a little bit, basically got one little break up, sold most of it, now holding because it was a chase play. Am I really proud of that? No, it's just kind of one of those situations like, I mean, this thing can probably go up enough for me to make $1 on it or whatever, a couple dollars. So I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll do that. Um, so there's that. And now I'm just kind of re-going through this list just to make sure I didn't miss anything or there's something else that is worthy. So I'm gonna start with LAZR. And actually, you know what I need to do? I need to do this. I am going to wait, where did my I don't know where it went. Where did it go? Is it oh, it's that. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna do something different here. We are going to hmm. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take off this guy, detach. All right, we're gonna take that guy off, and now we're gonna move. Whoa, we're gonna move this guy into where we had the other stuff because this is a little bit more important than the market internals. Because I can read the market internals and tell you if shit's going up or down. You don't really need to see that. You don't really need to see this either, but it's oh snap! I can do both, baby. I don't even know I can do both, my dog, my dude. Wait, why is this thing all weird? Stop it. Work. Be efficient. Oh, but see, if I do that, why is this thing stupid? Like, what is why is it stays set on that length? That's just weird. I don't know. It's pretty stupid if you ask me. Oh, no, it's not. It's just my screen is so, it's the exact same color tone. That's funny. All right, so we're gonna do that. I think I got to adjust this screen. So what is that? Control or is it shift sway? Um, what screen am I on? I don't even know. Um, two, custom layout two. So this guy. Wait, where'd you go? Bring that back up. Custom layout two. Yeah, I want to edit. Oh, there we go. Edit. I'm doing edit this guy. Divide that one in half. Perfect. Save. Bam. And now we're going to take this guy and we're going to pop that one in the top like that. Bam. Mess with me, dog. Mess with me. Mm. Ah. All right, this is going to make life a lot easier for me because now I don't have to look at the screen to the left and do that. SOND. SOND started an uptrend. It's coming down into the 4 hour trend right now. So it's kind of one of those situations where maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Not a big fan of that one, the way it looks. SOND, it's coming into 4 hour support right now. So I don't know if that one's going to perform or not. Let's see, LFS. LFS is, see, that's another one. Like, again, if I was paying closer attention today, we would have been trading this one, but I just didn't do a good job. I'll do better for you guys tomorrow, or the next day and the next day. But here's like another one. Look at this guy. So LFS. All right. So look at this move. Look at the volume and look at your chart on both the 4 hour and the 30 minute. So there is the 4 hour trend right there. And where's the 30 minute trend? Pretty much the same spot. So today on LFS, the 4 hour and the 30 minute uptrend algorithmic start level is at pretty much right there, a 555, right? So look at, right, if we zoom in, right? So look what happens, right? Look at LFS. It's down here. We know that if it gets over this price, the yellow line, an uptrend starts. So look at the volume on the bottom. Low volume, low volume. Not really much volume. A little volume, little volume, little volume, little volume. And then what happens? You get over 539, the 30-minute algorithmic flip level, and then look at your volume. Volume starts to what? Increase, like 100-fold, right? Let's see. Volume was like, what is this? Volume was at 8,000 about, right? And then as soon as you broke over 555, volume went from 8,000 to 37,000. Why? Why would volume all of a sudden go from 8 to 37,000? Maybe because the people that actually know what they're looking at know that the stock market, well, sorry, that LFS entered an uptrend at that point, right? So essentially, LFS enters an uptrend here at the price of at the price of $5.40 at the time of 8:40 in the morning. So uptrend start, volume increase, and voila, there you go. So nonetheless, that was a big miss today. Um, but that's okay. That's what you get when you're not actually trying too hard. Yeah, not using too much brain power on the day. MNDR, nothing. That's right. That's the one they won't let me buy. CRNC, it was already gapped up, no back test. Nah. EPSM. Again, this is the one where I just like didn't know what to do, if I could trust this one. This one already started an uptrend a couple days ago. It's testing the 4 hour trend right now. Actually kind of already broke that one out a little bit. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have the balls for that one right now, if you will. NUTX. See, NUTX started an uptrend yesterday. That's a really expensive stock, so we'll forget that one. MAGN started an uptrend yesterday, it looks like. ATGL started an uptrend a couple days ago. SGBX started an uptrend a couple days ago. NNOX started an uptrend a couple days ago. YDKG, that one started an uptrend. That's right, that one that started an uptrend today, but I didn't really like it because it was also below the 4 hour, so it's more or less an oversold bounce back to 4 hour resistance. So it's not like a full gung-ho long, so avoided that one. OLMA. This one started an uptrend a couple days ago. It's 24 bucks. Didn't really see the value of involving myself on that one today. ADUR. That one started an uptrend today, but we're kind of late to that because we should have been basically buying in the pre-market or at the open. It was also a low volume stock, so it was kind of like, did you know it was going to really perform or not? But I should start paying more attention to the low volume ones. There's still a good opportunity there. VEE, actually. VEE. So this one. Again, started an uptrend today at the price of $1.67. See, here's another perfect example. Ready? Watch this. So look at the stock VEEE, right? So let's line up where the stock market enters an uptrend. So the stock market broke over the price of $1.69. That's a 30-minute time frame. That's where the uptrend starts. Now let's look at the volume and we'll line the volume up. When does the volume come in? So ready? No volume, no volume, no volume. Then all of a sudden we get one candle that kind of goes up, breaks the price of $1.67, and now look at your volume. There's your volume comes in because that is the algorithm change, right? It's not like retail all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, $1.68, let's go. Slam it. Right? That's not retail, right? There's obviously some retail participant like myself, you, etc., the people on the stream. But that's algorithms, right? That's computerized programming right there. And they all follow, again, they all follow the same thing. Whether it be the SPY, penny stocks, or stocks, they all follow the same 30-minute 50 SMA trend flip. So there was that one today, but again, like I said, just wasn't really paying attention. But that would have been another decent play today. I know it doesn't look very special, right? I mean, but from $1.68 to currently $2, that's a 19% return on your capital this morning. All right, so that was V. What about MIGI? What is this little guy? Oh, so MIGI, that's an oversold bounce in a bear market. We don't really care for that one too much. Sometimes those are fun to play if you really think they're gonna work. Ooh, FC. See, that's another one like FCUV. They're starting to move it up to an uptrend, but it's still in a bear market, so I don't really like that one. That's kind of like it's kind of like a fishing line to see if they can get you. Ain't gonna get me. SCLX. It's funny, the more I'm talking about, the more they keep popping up these random piece of crap ones. EPSM. Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much run through all of these biggest gainers right now, and I don't really see anything that I could just say, yeah, let's buy this. I don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. Not for the moment. So, what's that mean? It means I ain't gonna do nothing. We're just gonna chill. Wow. We have 8 people in on the stream. I thought today was 100% guaranteed the day YouTube was just going to be throwing us the pumper magoo. What time is it? 10:49. Oh, I don't want to leave. I'm gonna go blow leaves. There's leaves at one of my rental properties that I still do because I just hate paying people to do leaves. I think it's such a Granted, if I was making significantly more money, I'd probably pay, but between all the remodels and other stuff we've been buying, it's kind of one of those times like, you kind of got to do it yourself, save a little bit of money. But man, these freaking the leaves, dude, it's insane. It is insane how many I'm like I think I'm gonna cut down trees at this point. Probably save myself more money just cutting the damn trees down versus A, spending the time and then paying someone to get the leaves every year is crazy. Anyways, I got a phone call coming in from a realtor. I'll be back. One second. I am back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and squirrels. Oh my goodness, the market has gone to $675 and it has not gone further. Oh no. Who would have thought? Oh, sorry about that. I was just texting and talking to realtors and the whole jam. Oh gosh. Oh, all right, it's 11 o'clock pretty much. I think that's a good time to end the stream. We have accurately predicted the world's largest globally traded ETF nearly to the exact penny as far as how far it would go up today. We also informed that we were going to be squeezing out short sellers today. We effectively did that. So, I mean, job well done. Can't complain. That's probably one of the hardest things to do on planet Earth, and we did it very good today. So, thumbs up, cheers, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.